put our walls down toward each other, and it was awesome.
Most people think surrogacy is only about bringing a baby into the world. But what can often get overlooked are the relationships that make that journey possible. Nick is an intended father. Bailey is the husband of his surrogate. What started as two families coming together for a shared goal became something neither family expected because both were willing to lead with trust.
This is not transactional. This is personal. If you can't develop a personal relationship with someone that is carrying your child and you're not willing to open your heart to them.
Today, they're sharing what they've learned about trust, communication, supporting their spouses, and how opening their hearts turned a surrogacy journey into a family. Enjoy. The journey, it was just another surrogacy journey match, but it's turned into a friendship and ultimately family really fast. What do you think made that happen?
I don't know. I mean, even on our first match meeting and stuff like that, when we talked and just the way, I don't know, our personalities matched right off the bat. And I have a very, very, very outgoing personality. And Nick can attest to this, but I'm myself around everybody. And some people get it and some people don't. And Nick just immediately caught on, and he was just he gave it back to me. And at that point I was like, okay, this dude's going to be cool. We're going to be able to get along and shoot the crap back and forth with each other and do our thing. And obviously at that point, we started communicating when I would reply. And yeah, I mean, we just clicked, honestly. I think the hardest part for both of us is we live so far away from each other, because if not, we'd literally be at each other's places 24/7.
Nick, from your perspective, did you expect the journey to become more than just simply this shared goal of working towards a baby?
I just kind of rock with life. When life, comes, I just kind of rock with whatever's going on. So, whatever happens. I know it's kind of one of the questions we were asked in this whole thing of, what is your expectation of this? Are you expecting to, build a friendship? Are you expecting to not build one? Is this going to be more transactional for you? When Laura and I were talking about it, we are just it's one of those that we want the other family to feel comfortable with whatever that means. So we're open to any side of it. If they're wanting to be transactional, cool, we're no pressure, but if they're wanting a friendship, we're friendly. We'd be like friends. But yeah, I would say, just kind of piggyback off what Bailey was saying, I feel like we both have personalities that just kind of dive into the awkward. So if there's
our wives
something, it just, we ignore the nonsense. We ignore the perfunctory rules that, are just supposed to be there. That, we're supposed to go on 3 dates before, you actually shake hands or whatever. It's one of those that we just dive into the awkward. To kind of give an example, when we were up in Illinois here just about a month ago now, the doctor walks in and he sees 4 people sitting in a room where there's normally only 1 or 2.
Sure.
And he's like, so who is everybody? And I'm like, I'm Nick. And he's like, okay, hi Nick. Who are you? And I'm like, I'm the baby daddy. And then Alex is like, yeah, I'm the mom. And Bailey gets up and goes, yeah, I'm the husband. So the doctor was just like,
what's going on here? Yeah, it was fun.
I love it. Well, I feel like that really is one of the greatest parts of the surrogacy journey for the spouses.
Yeah. No, it's always fun to just talk to people and explain it to them, because at first they're always like, okay, what's this dynamic? What's going on? How does this work? You got to go through the process, explain everything to them. And they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. That's so cool. But again, going back to what Nick just said, we like to have fun with it sometimes with people as well. So that makes it even more fun.
No, 100%. As you guys were starting, how did each of you see your role in this journey? You're the support person for Alex, of course, but now obviously your relationship has evolved with, Nick, Bailey. How has that changed?
I will be straight up honest. The relationship that me and Nick have is, if Nick was to text me right now and say, hey, I need you to come to Dallas, I need you to help me with this, I would catch a flight and I would be there for him. And even though they are 10, 14 hours away, you still are able to understand, okay, the connection I have with this individual is not just what you said, transactional, or, anything of that sort. It's literally like they are a part of our family now, and I would do anything for them. And we communicate as much as we can, and Nick will attest to this, and so will Lauren. But I'm not the best at replying to text or anything like that. So like
It's not
on the phone call,
You're underselling that one, man.
yeah, it's that. You have to call me on the phone and talk to me, or else I'm nowhere.
I get more chess responses from you than I do text.
Correct, we do. Yeah, we play a lot of chess online.
I love it.
But no, like honestly,
not in person.
The support role for them is literally like I would do anything for them, and I stand by that, and I always will. Like Nick's not the kind of guy to me that like, and we have going back to the same thing. It's like our personality wise, like if I upset him in some way, or if he upset me in some way, like we would be able to communicate that with each other, and then literally we could be over it like it's nothing. Like so,
we just say what's there. Like we're not going to ignore the elephant in the room. Like, well, we're not supposed to talk about the elephant.
Yeah.
Talk about the elephant. It's there. Do it. Go.
Again, it just goes back to our personalities. We're both so laid back and just live life and just go with the flow that I think we're perfect for each other.
For me, the cool part that made it easy was like from the second we picked him up from the airport, our literal first time meeting, not like digitally meeting, but meeting in person. It was the way I can describe it is I have a friend back in Austin that I haven't seen in years, like 10 years kind of thing. And I just recently went to his wedding, and it was like it was 10 years ago. Like nothing had changed, even though like we only text here or there. We don't really hang out or talk that much, but it was just, nothing had changed. There was no awkwardness. It was just, me seeing my old friend. It felt like that friend you hadn't seen in 10 years. Like they got in the car, and it was like, I've known these people for 10 years. Like it just it had that feeling of just linking back up with an old friend and picking up where you left off. And even though there was no past relationship.
So I know you guys keep saying it's like a personality thing and things like that, but ultimately, and Bailey, you kind of have touched on a little bit, but I mean, you guys have like, what do you think was the thing that helped create this level of trust and connection that the two of you have?
We're superior human beings.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was gonna say it was Alex and Lauren, because their relationship before the match even happened, it was there, and they had communicated and talked, and honestly, I don't remember if me and Nick had communicated at that point, but the way Alex would explain Nick to me, and I don't know if Lauren explained me to Nick, but just having them so close and talking and having that relationship before, it kind of gave me like because obviously Alex is my girl, you know what I mean? Like I trust her, I trust her decision making. And if she says like this Lauren is amazing, I love her, and so at that point it's like, okay, well, Nick is her husband, so I want to get to know him, and I want to see, how our relationship will be. And I mean, that's pretty much what, got me and Nick to be as connected as we are. Like we wouldn't be if it wasn't for them. So, I mean, going back to it, I mean, they're pretty much the reason why, me and Nick are where we're at and how we're able to have the relationship that we do.
But I think what I'm hearing you say from this, though, is that for you, the investment that you put in to getting to know Nick was worth it and important to you, because that's not necessarily the case for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could have just been like, like, cool, Nick is Nick. I'm going to see him when the baby comes out, and that's it.
Well, and I think, so there's something we're kind of skipping over because it's pre-assumed, but I think it's important to acknowledge somebody else is having your child, or you are having someone else's child, right? This is not a impersonal thing. This is not transactional, although some people try to see it that way and make it that. It's not. And if you look at it like that, one, you're robbing yourself of so many things, but two, you're actually creating more work for yourself, because this is a personal thing. So you're having to ignore these personal items, these personal things. You're having to ignore this person that is going through something, whether it be the person carrying the baby or the person that can't. And I think we are kind of glazing over the fact that this is personal. If you can't develop a personal relationship with someone that is carrying your child or someone that you are carrying their child, what's wrong with you? Like, open your heart. You have allowed them to carry the what should be the most precious thing to you that you can give to another person like that, right? And you're not willing to open your heart to them. Like, what's wrong with you?
What I'm hearing you say, Nick, is it wasn't the person, so Alex, who is, your surrogate. Bailey is just as much a part of that unit, right? Like, it's not just about Alex carrying the baby. And so for you, I'm hearing it was also not only it was like, yes, I want to open my heart to this person that's doing this thing for my family, but it's I'm opening my heart to this family that is doing this for my family.
Well, nobody operates in a box, right?
Yeah.
Nobody operates in isolation. So I think what I'm trying to say is you start from a starting point of your heart is already open because of the situation, right?
Yeah.
And if it's closed off, you're actually creating more work for yourself. And then once your heart is open, now that makes it easier for you to develop those friendships. So, Bailey and I working out, if we had both been kind of closed off to each other and and didn't lean into the awkwardness, we maybe still would still, maybe arrive to the same point, but it would just take longer, right? The fact that we skipped the openness or awkwardness and we're more open, we were able to see, hey, we work well together. We have fun together. This is okay. Oh, you like this? I like that. Or you like that? I think it's cool that you like that. I'm not into it though. Like Bailey loves golf. I'm not gonna do it. It ain't gonna happen. I will sit there and watch him play, and I'll enjoy spending time with him. But we don't have to agree on every little thing to be awesome friends, right?
Yeah.
Who Bailey is as a person is awesome, and I was able to see that and be able to be a part of that because of both of us going, yeah, we're going to skip the awkwardness. We're going to lean into who each other are versus putting up walls or barriers that are artificial.
Yeah, and we did that fast. Like, I don't know why, but we did. We just immediately did that. We put our walls down toward each other, and it was awesome.
Well, yeah, again, I love that. I love that you both saw the beauty that can come from the vulnerability of putting down your walls and being open and, like you said, skip the awkwardness and just call a spade and then have fun with it. No, I think that's so amazing. Before this journey, and Bailey, I know this is the second go around for y'all, but what assumptions did you have about this like surrogacy relationship and how have those assumptions changed with your own experience?
And I kind of kept it open because it's just, this is something that my wife has had on her heart and that she has always, wanted to do. And she's a very giving person. So for me, it was, even with the last one, it's, if this is her decision, then I back her decision and I'm going to make it work no matter what for her. So I didn't have like a bad expectation. I didn't have a good expectation. I just had, I'm supporting my wife. That's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So that's where I'm at with it. This is our second go around, and the first experience was good. And I was hoping that, obviously, my expectation was, okay, I hope that this second journey goes just as well. You know what I mean? And if it doesn't, then that's just something that you go with the roll on. But obviously, this second journey has been amazing and wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah. What about you, Nick?
I have found in life to have expectations is setting yourself up for failure. So I walk into most situations not having expectations, making my expectations whatever the reality is. So walk in, see what the reality is, and adjust accordingly. So especially in something that you don't know anything about, you walk into something that either you don't know anyone that's done it or most people haven't done it. You know nothing about it other than internet stuff, and it's like, well, that's garbage anyway. And the interweb will tell you anything you want to know, whether you want to know good things or bad things. So I just walk into situations and whatever is. And that's kind of where I approach things from.
Yeah. What have y'all learned about trust through this experience?
For me, it's hard for me to trust people,
Yeah.
but meeting Nick and Lauren and their family and stuff like that, I definitely see a different perspective into it for me personally, just because of how normally in my everyday to day life I am closed off a little bit and I don't trust a whole lot of people. So for this experience alone, to for me and Nick to have became as close as we have, it's kind of given me a different outlook on trust.
Yeah. No, well, again, I mean, I think, like you said, or both of you have been saying, you guys collectively, prior to even meeting each other, decided to just be vulnerable. And I think that's amazing. So, both of you are obviously supporting your respective wives in different ways. How has that experience been for the both of you, and how have y'all supported each other throughout this journey?
Exhausting. No,
Whatever the wives want, we give them, and we just don't ask questions.
There you go.
we listen and we don't judge.
Yep. Listen and we don't judge.
So the next question is,
Stop.
for us, we have gone through different things that most people have never gone through and never will, and I hope they never do. Just different things that are, if I had to write my story, I wouldn't even be creative enough to think of them. And I think that kind of makes everything else a little bit easier. You put certain things in perspective, and it's like, man, the little things don't matter. There are so many more bigger things out there that supporting through these other things are a lot easier.
This episode of Create a Happy Family is brought to you by Seed Trust Escrow. If you're navigating a surrogacy or egg donation journey, you know how important it is to have secure, transparent financial support every step of the way. Seed Trust Escrow specializes exclusively in escrow management for assisted reproduction and has helped thousands of intended parents, surrogates, donors, and agencies manage their journeys with confidence and peace of mind. What makes them stand out is their commitment to security, transparency, and personalized support, combined with industry-leading technology designed specifically for third-party reproduction. Whether you're starting a surrogacy journey, working through an egg donation process, or coordinating with an agency, their experienced team is there to help guide you with care, responsiveness, and accuracy. To learn more or schedule a consultation, visit seedtrustescrow.com. And if you reach out, be sure to let them know you heard about them on Create a Happy Family. What has surprised you guys most about the role that y'all's relationship has played in this journey? Or maybe it's not surprising.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
know if I'm surprised.
Yeah, and I don't know if basically the way I see it is, our role is basically to support our old ladies. He supports Lauren, I support Alex, and I mean we also support each other's significant other. Like he supports Alex, and I support Lauren. I don't think that there's like a weird or different dynamic to that. Like we trust each other, questions, decisions, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I love this so much because what I'm hearing is essentially it started as Team Baby and has evolved into still this team, but the surrogate journey aspect is just one part. It's not the central.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree to that. I mean, straight up, Nick is family. Lauren is family. Kiddos are family. Like they are family, and they always will be, no matter what.
But I think, like at the end of the day, from before everything was even confirmed, because Lauren and Alex decided to skirt the rules and play around before,
just
a little bit because of one of these podcasts, just created conversation. That conversation led to more. So it was one of those that, like, before there was any decision made that we were going this direction together, they were already in constant communication as friends.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I think that aspect, Team Baby may have been. I don't know. I don't know if it was ever Team Baby. There was an idea of we have this baby, we want this baby to be here with us. You know, we want to be able to hold this baby, and it's hard to hold this out. You know, so I think there was that, but I don't know if there was like a team aspect about it. There was a destination and a goal, but I think before everything was decided, we were already forming a team around each other. So it's always kind of been like that. It's always been we want the best for each other collectively, and the selfishness has kind of been taken out.
I love that. So not every intended dad or surrogate spouse there are going to become close friends, and that's okay. But what do you guys think are kind of the non-negotiables to help create that strong just trust, support, and really just a strong foundation regardless of personality differences?
You're talking to two dudes. I think at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to respect.
Yeah,
I think
pretty
at
much.
the end of the day, when we were talking about guys getting together and in any playing field, right? No matter what situation you put them in, if there's a lack of respect, and whether that be lack of respect with each other, lack of respect for their spouse or their family, a lack of respect in any way, shape, or form, that's going to cause a problem. That respect has to be the kind of foundation. You're talking about trust as a foundation. I think respect would probably come before trust.
Yeah.
And if you have that foundation, you can build trust upon it. You can build different things upon it. But I think between guys, respect is a big thing in any field. And if you look at any kind of interpersonal conflict between guys, it probably boils down to a lack of respect.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. And you're going to have different individuals, that not us specifically, but somebody who's potentially watching this with their spouse and stuff like that. Like, it just boils down to, I think as well, like, yes, respect is a big part, but for the spouses, it's going to have to go back to communication between everybody and what they want. They're going to have to communicate back and forth on how they want that relationship to be, because if one side is expecting one thing and the other side is expecting another, and there's no communication, then it's just going to be awkward the entire way. And if you've gotten past that stage to where now like that is happening, and one family's thinking like, okay, we're going to have communication this entire time, and then the other half is like, okay, we just want to do this for them, and it be no sentimental value or anything like that, then that's just going to be a hardship on both sides completely, because you've got the people who are wanting to fight for it, and then the people who are just like, okay, this is how we want it to be. And during that whole entire journey, the expectations of each other are going to be completely different. So it's just really, it's especially between spouses, I think it's just going to be, it would be on top of the respect, communication with that other individual and explaining to them like what you see, how it's going to be, the way you want it, and if there is even a middle ground to where you guys can get to.
Open, honest communication, huge.
Yep.
That's disrespectful not to, right? If you're lying to somebody, you're not going to get anywhere. If you're holding stuff back and not being transparent, you're going to cause problems.
But I think also you're bringing up a really good point, is that being transparent and being honest, but not only with the people, so whether it's your spouse or potential match, but also with yourself, and really thinking about, how do I want this journey to go? What do I want these relationships to look like with the journey beyond the journey? And really, I mean, I think, yes, we talk a lot about the surrogate and what does she think, and, what are her hopes with all of that. But I agree. I think it is just as important to have a spouse answer that question for themselves, have intended dad think about that just as much.
Everybody's journey is going to be different. There's so many different dynamics that can play out into it. But going back to what Nick said, open honesty with the other half through all parties is something that you have to communicate with each other, because it's just a big part that plays into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think you have to acknowledge something too within yourself. Are you doing this out of selfishness, like your actions, whatever action you're doing, regardless whether it's this or anything in life, right? Are you operating in a selfish manner? Which, it's fine if you are, just be honest about it. Or are you wanting to be not selfish? Selfless may be too far of a word, but are you wanting to be selfish or not? So if you're wanting to be selfish, communicate that. Like, you don't have to say, I want to be selfish, but understand that's what you're doing and be able to communicate that effectively, that that's the method in which you're trying to operate. But if you're not trying to be selfish and you're like, no, that's not who I want to be, that's not what I want to do, then acknowledge the things that are selfish that you're doing, that are self-focused and not focused on other people and wanting the best for others and only wanting the best for yourself. And if you can't acknowledge that inside, then externally that's not going to work. So it's understanding where your motives are coming from first and foremost that can dictate your conversations later.
Yeah. No, I totally hear you. I think it's really hard to find a only selfish motivated person who is even in this process.
Well, I would argue that we can all be selfish and just have trouble recognizing it.
That is fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So just calling it out in yourself, having some self perspective. And if you're focused on not doing that, right? Because nobody wants to be selfish. I think there's a time and a place for everything. But if you don't want to be selfish, like, no, I don't want to be that, then make sure you recognize when you are. So that way you can take action upon it. Because otherwise you sit there and you end up being in a spot of selfishness and making excuses for it.
Sure. Well, again, just taking ownership of that, recognizing it. And if you have built the respect, the trust, that just continue, and then you're able to have the communication and everybody can collectively, get to a solution with, whatever that may be. Sitting in the seats that y'all, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just say, the reason I brought it up is because I think we focus a lot on the, Nikki Bailey, what's your back and forth, right? How are you interacting with each other? But I think we also take honest, because we dive into awkward and something else, we take honest looks in the mirror at ourselves, which enables us to be able to honestly look at each other. Kind of thing. We are being honest introspectively, then outwardly, that makes it all much harder to be able to get along with people, be able to get past certain things, have real conversations about real things. So I just bring that up because if somebody's watching this and they're like, man, I want to have an awesome relationship with the person across from me, I don't want this to just be transactional.
Yeah.
And you better be able to take a good look in the mirror, because some actions you may be doing may be transactional, even though you're not intended that way, because you're not recognizing some of the selfish things you may be doing because you're just not looking at it.
Yeah. No, I love that. Continuing to go with just these amazing words of advice, sitting in the seats that y'all are in now, what wisdom or just nuggets would you give to any intended dad, surrogate spouse?
Support your wife.
Always.
Like, first and foremost.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, whatever's going on, no matter which side of this you're on, what she's going through is harder than you are off the bat. And then after that, take your feelings out of it. We actually had a conversation about this when we were up in Illinois. So I have a family member, they were told by one of their bosses to read a book. And I was like, what's that book? They're like, I don't know. It's about feelings and crap. And I thought that was the funniest. So Lauren and I often use that, when we're talking about feelings, because we're like, you know what? Our feelings don't matter to a certain degree. Like, we need to take our feelings out of stuff because, for instance, if I get hungry and I don't eat, I might feel angrier faster. Right? Sure. I might be impatient faster, right? So if I didn't get, that if I didn't get enough sleep, I might be, a little cranky faster. All those little things, those are just feelings, right? And so sometimes we have to acknowledge, I've got a feeling going on. And so especially when you're trying to be supportive of something, taking your own feelings out of things, when you see something outwardly, right? If you were to be working with the other family and maybe you took something a certain way, like, ooh, they did this and now I feel a certain way. Well, is that what happened, or is that what you're feeling? Because those aren't necessarily the same thing. If someone says, I like vanilla, they're not trash talking chocolate. It's just they like vanilla. So I would say be supportive of your wife first and foremost, for all the dads and kind of dads out there, the husbands. That's you won't be successful in general if you're not doing that in 1,000 different ways. But then after that, take your own feelings out of it, and whatever things may pop up that you're like, well, that's unfair for this reason or that. Take your feelings out of it. Doesn't matter. Skip it.
Yeah. I think, step out of your comfort zone too. Like, honestly, step out of your comfort zone because, this process isn't the same for everybody. Mm-hmm. Like, you may speak to, because around here, like we have individuals who have done this before, and, I've spoken with my first time, with our last journey, like we have the surrogate dads down here. And, I sat down and I had conversations with them because at first I had questions, and it's just step out of your comfort zone, ask questions. If you're curious about something, like don't be afraid to talk to somebody about it and ask those questions to better understand it because other individuals have been through this. Other individuals are doing this, definitely step out of your comfort zone and ask questions. Always ask questions if you're curious about something.
Well, be vulnerable. You do not have to be the expert in this. Like,
right, exactly.
Yeah, I'd say have fun. Like,
yeah,
whatever roadblock is in the way of having fun, just go have fun.
Yeah.
Just go have fun. I love it.
Go do jujitsu.
Go do jujitsu.
Go do it. Just go do it.
Do it, man. Just
have you guys done jujitsu together?
No. No. Nick does it, and he puts me in moves, and I always say uncle as soon as he even tries it.
That's hilarious.
Alex tried to jiu-jitsu me before we did the transfer.
She did.
I love the note before she did the transfer. Like, just
yes, that's right. You actually said you can no longer jiu-jitsu me because we've done the transfer.
Very good. Very good.
This is now he goes at me, and I'm like, nah, I don't want no part of it. Like, leave me alone. And this was like the first time we went out there too. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. What is this? And I tried doing it. I was like, oh yeah, no, I did it wrong. And he never knew until like the next time we came down, and I told him, I was like, oh yeah, I tried to do that. And he's like, I wonder why there was footprints.
That's hilarious. I love it. I love it. Well, you guys, again, thank you so much for just your honesty and your openness. And I could not be more thrilled that you guys found each other in this process. I have one last question for you. It's my fun one. So you've seen me the whole time, and Bailey and I both, we've been sipping on, I'm going to assume coffee is in yours. And yeah, this is probably cup number.
Mine is water.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, I don't drink coffee. I put water in it because you sent it, and I was like, you know what, that's kind of nice. So I'm going to show it on the podcast.
Thanks.
Of course.
I definitely probably should hydrate more. I dehydrate with the amount of coffee that I am constantly drinking, but I always love to ask the question, what has filled your cup today? Literally or figuratively, what has been the thing to fill your cup?
So I'll say, water has filled my literal cup, but I mean, no, this is a cool experience because this is something that I never would have guessed that I would do. Me and Nick's personality, it's just, and definitely it goes back to like helping if there is somebody out there who has questions and stuff like that to like reach out and ask those questions. And to fill my cup, it was just this experience and being able to talk with you and with me and Nick and show the relationship that we do have and the relationships that can come from something like this.
Yeah.
It's just, it's super neat. And I definitely would tell the father side of it to, just be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Nick?
I do really bad with these like metaphorical analogies. My brain is a lot more literal, so I'm like, I've got coffee over here.
Perfect.
Yeah. I got a coffee cup, but
it's not the one she sent us.
No, this one is a brewmate. So I'm not selling somebody's thing. I feel like I would be disingenuous or dishonest if I didn't say the kind of hokey answer. At least in my mind, it sounds a little hokey at this point. But God, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like He has ordained all this. He fills my cup. He is the reliable source for that. I have a God-sized hole in my heart that only He can fill. And at the end of the day, I think this journey kind of started with Him, not just providing the way, providing Alex and Bailey, but also that was one of the first things we talked about. Like the very first question Alex asked us, she was, hey, where are y'all at with this? What's it like? Didn't waste any time. Wasn't like, okay, what's your favorite color? Like it right straight into it because that's what was important. And so I think to say anything other than that would be disingenuous. I think at the end of the day, it started with Him. It's going to end with Him. And everything in between is by His hand.
And the other thing too is like if anybody does have questions, because I know you asked us before, like, I provided my email and maybe my name and stuff like that, or Facebook or whatever. But like if somebody does, and this is just me, I don't know how Nick feels about it, but if somebody has questions, reach out to me on Facebook, send me an email. Like I'm super open. I'll talk to you about whatever you want to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Reach out to me on Facebook. Do not email me because I'm terrible with my emails as previously alluded.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
My work emails on top of my personal emails.
That feels right. No, I mean, yeah, I can relate to that 100%. Well, again, thank you guys so much. And I'm sending all the good vibes and happy thoughts as we work our way towards delivery day. Thank you, Bailey. And thank you, Nick, for just being willing to, again, just be a resource to others who maybe, don't have other people close by that are going through this. And so I love that we're able to just, again, pour into the community in that way. So thank you guys so much.